Hey, what's going on,
Back
everyone? What's going on? We
again,
are
back
back.
again.
We're experimenting, trying to do a live, semi-live, late cast episode. Well, we're gonna be doing an episode, but we're really gonna be doing the series review, spoilers and all. This is the ComiCousins podcast. It's been a minute. This is your cousin one, Biela. I have my
And
other
this
host.
this is cousin three, man. I've been waiting for this for a while. We're returning with something new and improved. And again, this is cousin three. Yes. I believe it's the Magneto.
Yeah, you had Black Magna Carta, Black Nito, Black Inferno. What was it?
Right.
Flash 2.0. You've had a lot.
Man, man. If we had played on three or four more intramural teams, I could have put more nicknames on the
Yeah,
back.
you could. Yeah, you could have. You would have had a few more. But anyways, man, we are. If you can't see in the top right, we're going to be talking about the Obi Wan Kenobi series on Disney Plus. The what 6 episode? I guess is it a one season? Is this it? This one
Okay,
season? One
so I
episode?
didn't know how early you were going to get into that, but I will tell you this: a lot of the shows I've been watching on Disney Plus always seem to be around that 6, 8, 9 episode arc,
Yeah.
something like that. I think a couple have been 10. Um, but 6, 8, 9, I've been noticing that, and I really don't know if any of them are gonna come back. Like,
Right.
like, okay. So in particular, this one is 6 episodes, and um, I'm not gonna bury the lead. I really enjoyed it, but the thing that got me thinking, when you leave a movie that you really like,
Right.
you always think, are they going to have a sequel, or should this stay where it is as a classic
Hmm.
movie? Or so my immediate reaction is, oh, I got to get more of that. Like, in particular, the last few episodes of this first little out outing, I think they got something. And if they do a second season of this,
Right.
I think they've really got something, because I was kind of on the fence on whether it would be one hit wonder type thing,
Hmm.
only because you didn't really see anything. Like, the end of it to me really was almost to the point where, man, I could watch episode 4 now. Like, I thought they were, like, the way they were kind of putting together the end of the story. I was like, oh wow, they're gonna lead this close to where we were talking about. But then, I got to thinking, and I'm like watching it, and it's like, well, you know, Kenobi is way older in 4,
Hmm.
and you know, the kids aren't that young in 4. So my thought was, up until I saw the very end, I was like, yeah, this is something that I think they're gonna reboot. I didn't think so, but I think they are gonna do a second one, because I'd like to see. This is where I'll hand it off to you, because I know this is something you've talked about. I'd like to see what Kenobi has in store for himself between now and that old man in episode 4. So it'd be great to see his life outside, and it looks like that might be what they're about to show. What do you
Right.
think?
Well, I'll say this. That's a good. Keep that in mind. That question, because
Right.
I want to get into the particulars of the show overall, just the
Of
you know
course.
front house of it. So, like the director, it is Deborah Chow. And if you look at what she's done already, as far as directing TV shows, I don't know if you've looked her up or known any of the shows that she's been done.
Her name sounds familiar, but I don't
But
recognize
yeah,
it.
we have Mr. Robot, Fear the Walking Dead, Better Call Saul. So you know I'm like, okay, Snowfall, Man in the
That's
High Castle,
definitely
The Mandalorian, American Gods. She's done some shows that have like really been touted as like really
very
like
good,
you're
right?
not just gonna bring any director on to do something like that. Outside of Iron Fist, she did do an Iron Fist. Loving and
Episode or or one of the
an
seasons?
episode, an
Oh,
episode,
okay.
episode.
I can give her a pass for that
Give her a
because
pass.
I haven't. So I've only watched a season of that. So if it was the second
That's
season,
only. Is there two seasons? I don't even know if they had a second season. I
oh
thought
yeah, they
they
all
did
got
one.
second.
They did
They all
one
got
in
second.
Defender. Was
They
his
all
name?
got
Was,
seconds.
okay, so he got a second one. That goes to
Yeah,
show. I watched it. I
yeah.
guess I
I know
did.
you did. I never watched it because
Yeah, I did.
it
That's where he
just didn't.
the jack.
Oh, well, by that time they had canceled it. So
Mm-hmm. Okay,
I
so
was
she
like,
did
well, what's the
one
use? Matter of fact, I didn't watch Cages either. But
right,
yes, that shows she's got
right.
some hits
Some
underneath
directing
her belt.
chops that she can be on there to hold a showdown. I mean, she
And
directed
well,
every episode.
well, I'll tell you what, the way the story was told as a whole,
Hmm.
you can tell she's put things together like that before. Like you can
Right.
tell that the chops she has at what she does because that wasn't a first time director or storyteller.
No, I mean, I think with the story, um, one of the other whole idea about the story and putting it together and how it's presented is that we have some characters coming back that are
Right.
reprising their roles. Obviously, the main one is Ewan McGregor as Obi Wan, but to in a year that we have had the new Spider-Man get some renewal, not that Toby Maguire really needed it, but Andrew Garfield may have needed it to
Yeah.
have Christian Haydenson come back and reprise his role and
Hmm.
it not get booed because people didn't like they didn't care for him as an actor in the prequels in the early 2000s for his role. You can't say it was really good, but it was
The
also
last
wasn't good.
the
It was
last image that a lot of people had of him was him
no,
snow, yeah,
yeah,
screaming, and that got made fun of a lot. So
yeah.
yes,
And so for him to come back, do the role, and it didn't feel forced. Some of that
it
just
didn't.
feels like sometimes some things just need time,
Right.
for you to come back and do it. Don't put it in people's face like we're just going to force this down your throat. That felt good to have him come back. But we also had Jimmy Smits, who played Bail Organa, Leia's
Hmm.
adopted father. We've had looks like Joel Edgerton, who was I didn't
Yep.
even know. I mean, I knew he was there, but he looks older, but not really. He plays
Uh,
Owen.
he's one of them three that I get confused, but we'll talk about that another time.
We also had Ian, was it McDiarmid, who played Palpatine. So he's reprised his role in this one and in
As
the
the
newer
last
ones.
movie, right?
Yes. We also had Bonnie Pais, who played the wife of Owen Lars, which is the adoptive mother. She was also in a cult, but we don't have to mention about the NXVM cult that took down
And
Chloe from Smallville. But yeah, that was a big deal. That was a big deal.
yeah, no, it was a huge deal. It was a huge deal. Uh, like that was some wild, huge break. Like if you watch that show,
I
that
watched,
was
yeah,
some wild breaking news, and that was a huge deal
right. I've watched
when
all
they
the
uncovered all the documentary.
I watched next the HBO show, and I think they had another
What?
they put on. Yeah, the next VM documentary they did, The Vow. They also had another one where they specifically were talking about one mother and her daughter and their story. That was
Yeah,
on like
that's some weird
TLC
stuff
or something.
though.
Yeah, that was crazy. Anyways, we can talk about that another time. we're talking about Obi Wan. Um, we also had some new characters. I mean, O'Shea Jackson. You know, we had
Yeah.
Ice Sun up in here, and we also have Ilaria San, Indira Varma, who played the Tala Durth. She's the one,
Uh,
the
I like
uh,
her.
Empire. Yeah, she's cool. She was in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Um, I really didn't have an issue with any of the castings. I mean, how could you really? I mean, it's like everyone came back and reprised their roles,
Right.
and then we had new characters, the Inquisitors, which some of them were ones that people were looking forward to seeing in live action, and some of the other ones
so
I
so
had issues. But
that's a good place to start on some points here. I heard that they were getting a lot of flack. Was that a down point on the show, or
that's the thing. I don't really know if it was a down.
because I didn't mind them?
Low.
I mean, they were. I mean, they weren't. In my opinion, they literally weren't big enough to have an impact for me like that, where they would ruin the show or ruin an episode. Like
Not really,
they literally were middle management. So
right? Except
I'm
for
waiting on seeing Darth. I mean, their back and forth is what it is, but um, you've watched the Clone Wars, right? Like them
that's
talking
I watched
between
some.
each other.
I've not watched. No, I haven't watched enough of it.
I
I
haven't
need to go
either.
back and watch it, but there's a lot. There's a lot to watch.
It's so I always look it up. Uh, they've got guides out there to watch certain episodes that really mean
Right.
something,
Hmm.
and ones that you can pass up. But yeah, it's kind of like that. That banter between Inquisitors was okay for the scenes that they were in, but outside of that, they couldn't. They didn't bother it for me.
They didn't. Now we had the one main one, which is played Moses Ingram, Riva Simvinder,
Hmm.
third sister. She was the primary inquisitor that we were pretty much privy to see from the beginning when they first appeared.
You that again. She gets her story told in this.
Right. It's kind of like from their perspective, this is her story, her side of it.
Hmm. Right.
Um, didn't really have an issue too much.
I
Uh,
like I liked what they did with her.
I didn't
Kind
mind
of
it.
a
Some of the stuff.
kind of somewhat of a redeeming story.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of like a complicated one. Not to follow, but just complicated as far as emotionally on her end.
Correct.
It's almost like
Correct.
this the side of it of hurt people kind of thing. Like she
That's
went through
exactly what
that.
it was.
Yeah,
Brandon, I said that. I said it when I was watching it. When I was watching it, I was like, you're really gonna do this.
hmm,
But at the same time, I was like, I kind of understand why she's gonna do it because hurt people hurt people. I literally said that watching it. So
now
yeah,
with that cycle of her life, kind of like going a full circle to have that happen, and then possibly completing it by her doing it herself when she saw it happen and knew what it did to her.
right,
Don't really know why she would have did it because
right.
I didn't. It wasn't like she was going to be able to go back to Vader and say, "I did this for you." You tried to kill him. There was going to be no redeeming quality from that. There's no redemption that you can do unless that's just a way of
Well,
the dark side.
remember she wasn't doing it for Vader. She was really seeking some sort of
Revenge.
revenge, like the justice that she
Right.
said. So the justice, like she felt like by not killing the boy, because when she broke down to Obi Wan, by not killing the boy and not being able to kill Vader, um, I've let them down, and I feel like she was just looking for something to gratify that.
To
So
gratify
yeah,
herself,
yeah,
essentially. In her
essentially
mind,
herself.
I didn't kill Vader, and I couldn't go through with this other killing of this youngling, which again, however, that balances out in her mind that that would have been a win. I don't know, but
It would have been killing his son, his offspring.
okay. In the same time,
And,
you're
and
yeah.
it now, little does she know, that dude has no idea.
No. However, we haven't really dug into where we're at because all six
Right.
episodes we're kind of just talking about it now. It's kind of
Yeah.
spoilers. If you're listening, it's going to be what it is. So
The show is all encompassing, but it is for this sake. It's small. It's a short story.
yeah, it's short and tight.
Right.
They hit their stride. The real story actually happens episode 3. Like you start it from there because
Correct.
leading up to that, it's like okay, we see Obi-Wan living this mundane life. He is a meat packer out in the desert, and he comes home and all he has is a camel, and then he goes and looks at Luke. That's all his day is.
So
Work.
you so
Home.
you know he's on Tatooine.
He's on Tatooine. Yes.
Right.
He's been watching him for the last 10 years and making
Right.
sure, I guess, he can ride and act like he's on a pod racer.
You don't like seeing him do the same thing that his dad
Dude,
used to do?
dude, they made him look just like Anakin did in the original. Even the
Right.
haircut, like they really were like, "Oh, we gotta look like his dad." Like, no, no. In the
Well,
original,
he's younger, so he's supposed to look more like his dad
yeah, but they had him looking way too close to him. They had the hair,
now.
bowl haircut, and everything, man. From afar, they fixed it though.
Right.
Episode 6 because it didn't look
Yeah. Because
bald.
it didn't look like that. No, it didn't.
He was sitting there like, is that his dad? Did he go back in time for a second?
Right. Is this a
Um,
flashback?
but to know where the Jedi are at the start of the series and how they're viewed, it just seems kind of wild because I don't know a lot about the Inquisitors. They're
Right.
apparently Jedi that just go to the dark side.
Yeah.
Inquisitors
They're
are different than what Darth Vader is.
literally they're if you want to join us, you can, but they're hunting down people with that are force sensitive,
That are
right?
Jedi. Yeah, I assume they're Jedi or have Jedi the
Right.
sensibility of the Jedi or whatever.
Force sensitive.
The Force, yeah, Force sense,
Yes.
right? So that's their whole thing, which
So
sounds
right there, you know that the Jedi are wanted. Like
right,
so they're being hunted down. So
right,
and that's another thing that I recognized is it is a change from the last time you might have seen them. But think about it, like one of their best Padawans just changed to the dark side. So like that's the first thing I recognize that you know that I could kind of feel for Obi-Wan was the dreams that dude was having. Like, dude, it's been 10 years, but he's still thinking about all the stuff that happened in episode 3. Like, that keeps him awake at night.
for sure. That has to, um, because that's a lot.
Right.
That's a lot.
And even in throughout the series, but I think it's wild that he's still apologetic for it.
I mean,
And I think that gets solved in the series, but I think,
yeah, by the end,
yeah,
it is resolved, but that's a lot to have to deal with, on his part because I mean, one of the hardest portions of the prequels to me, and I've always had this this argument, this stance is that I felt like Anakin changed too quickly, and then they had him change for the reasons as to why he changed to just oust the people that had led him this whole time. And one guy comes in, tells him something about his Padme and all this, and it was just kind of like I would have wanted something more of a real like deception, like something to happen to him that would made him think this happened because I saw it and I misinterpreted it. more than just someone's telling you something. And we always talk about in shows how people have conversations or lack thereof.
Right.
But Obi-Wan in the movies was telling him, "Hey man, what are you talking about?" Like he was explaining everything to him. It wasn't like he
Right.
just let him go do
So,
his
and
thing.
that's the thing. Like, I don't know how you make the Jedi look bad, and they're a simple group. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're never gonna try to lie to you. They're never
Right.
gonna try to steer you the wrong way. So, how do you make them look bad for him to be genuinely upset?
I think you could find ways, which is what they kind of tried to do, which would, and that was
Because
early on,
because
like in
they tried to put hints in Attack of the Clones episode 2
yeah,
of him being
questioning.
wild and reckless
Yeah.
and disobeying orders. But I agree. I think he should have done something. Something should have happened to say, okay, no, he's starting to turn that way. Because 3, he did something like that, but by that time you're like, oh, he's already talked to this dude. Like he's gonna turn.
Hmm.
So, um, and what's cool about it is like I think it would have paid off more. Like it definitely paid off for me, but I think as a whole, as a people that like Star Wars, it would have paid off a whole lot more in this series for sure. Um, how much Anakin Skywalker is or is not Darth Vader.
Right.
Because if you had showed a monumental breakdown of communication or um, I don't know, him and Obi Wan fighting over a saber with their force, and it slips and hits
Kills
Padme
or
or
a youngling or something.
yeah, something where he feels like he did that, but it was Obi Wan's fault. Something that makes it feel like yeah, it's on me, but it's Obi Wan's fault.
Right. I think I was looking more for a real tragedy, and it felt
Right.
more like it was a whiny kid who didn't get his way, and then it just became a brat, and then
No,
you were just
no, didn't help either.
yeah, it was just kind of like, man, I would have loved for it to been more of a real true like miscommunication type thing, or
Right.
you tell him not to do something, he goes and does it. People end up in a bad situation, and then it's like, but in the midst of doing all that, he does make a mistake, and then he sees the problem, like, oh, I should have did that, but it's too late now. It's like you did it,
Right.
but he
But
did it.
then,
Like he
but he,
killed Dooku, but it was like it just didn't really feel like there was a real fight to not kill Dooku. To me, he
yeah, I
was
don't
just
know why. Why would you spare Dooku?
because you're a Jedi. Like he had reasons to not do it. It wasn't like Dooku killed his mom. It wasn't like
Right.
Dooku did something that was like, yeah, it makes sense. No, all you had was Palpatine or Darth Sidious telling him to do these things, and it's
Yeah,
just
I guess that makes
how do you
sense.
just abandon everything that you've been taught? Just that
Right.
it just felt real quick.
Yeah, like I said,
More tragic.
Anakin, like the left turn that I wanted maybe in episode 2, he started to give me that in episode 3. Then he started showing bad tendencies, and then he all the way turned all in the same movie.
Right. I felt like that should be
So
something
it
that
could have been started an episode before.
I would have loved to have built to that from episode 2 for him to like do something he messed up, and then something else happens, he doesn't mess up, but he got the same like response from
Right.
Obi-Wan. And it's like a confusing thing. Well, do I listen to you or do I not listen to you? Because the last time this happened, I didn't do that. And then this happened and I could have helped. And then he goes and does something else in the third one or something. And then it's like
And
we see
he
examples
right.
to where he's
Right.
in predicaments. But either way, we're talking about the first movies. I was more of just saying,
That would
getting to the point to say this Darth Vader, the way they portrayed him in this show, awesome. Like,
It's the best.
yes,
Like it
fighting
to me, to
everything.
me, to me. He. So I didn't want to be hyperbolic, but this series as a whole to me might be the best thing since Rogue One. Like I like the Mandalorian. I think I like this more than that Boba Fett and
Any of the new
I guess
ones,
or not any of the new ones.
any of the new ones. I mean, Force Awakens is just a New Hope,
Right. And that was the best one.
right? It's
So
just,
yeah, this is probably the best lightsaber battle I've ever seen.
dude,
And
they've had
that's real.
multiple
They've had
lightsabers.
a whole bunch of battles, and
Yep,
that might have been the best one I've ever seen.
even
And
Darth.
I'm being real. I'm talking about
Ooh,
I'm
they,
talking about all the way back to Return of the Jedi, and that was one of my favorites. Dude,
oh
it's
yeah,
way better than the Yoda mess. I like the
yeah.
Darth Maul fight is real good, but bruh, this might have been the best lightsaber battle
It didn't
in
feel.
anything Star Wars.
It didn't feel tricked up. It didn't feel like they did anything extra. He was using the Force like
Bruh, did you see behind the back?
dog,
Did you see behind the back?
dog. That was dope. I'm telling you,
That was disgusting.
dude. The third
Yeah,
season when he was fighting her and she came at with the saber, he held that off, pushed it back,
right.
grabbed it, and then forced the other one in his hand. Come on, man.
Dude, this the series had the best lightsaber battles, period.
Yeah,
It
they
literally,
figured that.
period.
They figured that out,
They
and I
got that out. Dude, that last battle was crazy.
I mean, and it goes to show how quickly Obi Wan was able to find that Jedi magic.
Yeah, because we're real. Remember,
From
like we start this show and he doesn't have anything because he's just not
nothing,
practicing being a jet
using it.
because he's undercover. I think because they're all in hiding.
Right. And that makes sense. If he's not used it in 10 years, that's going to be, you're going to have some rust. So you're going to have to take some time to figure out how to get it and tap into it.
Right. I
We
think
see that Leia gave him
that's
that.
that's what I was gonna tell you or
Yeah,
ask
and
you
Luke.
about.
Yeah, and Luke.
How do you feel about their relationship?
Um,
Leia and Obi
but
Wan.
if we leave it where it is right now, it feels really cool to know that she reached out to him in episode 4 because
Awesome.
yeah, if they don't do anything else, that's cool.
Well, Brandon, that's what I'm getting at. Like
Yeah,
that's what when we started,
I
and I was
figured
starting
that's
in on
what you
the
want.
end. I was like,
Yeah,
man, I feel like now show me his adventures. Like he does not look like Ewan McGregor in episode 4, so he has a lot of life.
yeah,
Like that literally could have been the last time they saw each other
right,
until like. But listen, you can always go back and show me her making the message and putting it in a droid.
right. If you
Dog,
end
you can always show me like a teenage uh uh somebody showing up to put it on Tatooine for Luke to find it.
right,
Like that's all stuff that we can see in this show, but it doesn't have to be next season. You know what I'm saying? It
right,
doesn't have to be.
that can be whenever you want,
It literally can be the end of the show if you wanted it.
right, and that's what I think is really nice. That's a nice tie-in. Their relationship um solidified that whole thing with her reaching out to him is like, oh, okay, yeah,
Right. And
that
now they've got a
that's
rapport. Like
yeah.
she's gonna grow up thinking this guy's the best guy in the world. Of course she's gonna ask him for
He
help.
saved her life.
Right.
He went after her. He was the one that her dad and her parents went after to get her,
Right.
and he did it. So it's like, yeah,
That's
that's in
at
the
that
way in the mind.
right at that highly impressionable age that she is.
Hmm. He gave her
Yeah.
the gift. she was he gave her the gift of the
His
holster.
first holster, her first holster. Yeah.
So it's like
I,
he saw like all those things were elements of her when she gets older, when she gets captured, when she is on the ship, and how she talks about like they gave her spunk, they gave
right.
her attitude as
Oh,
Leia.
I loved Leia.
Yeah.
I loved her as a character all the way around, man.
Hmm.
Um, but it is kind of cool how he does a lot of foreshadowing because if you think about it, he 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 acts the same. I mean, it's wild that that same old man is Obi Wan. So I
Right.
you can see you know what I'm saying. So they got to do that. But with the little girl, you know you can make her as quick and as spunky as the Leia that we all know.
Yeah. So yeah, that aspect of it, man, really nice. I liked it.
What?
The Luke's parents, clearly we had to I didn't really understand why he was so objective of Obi-Wan coming.
Yeah, I'm not a.
I
I
didn't really
mean,
get that.
I'm gonna throw it that he's protective. I guess.
I guess even though he gave you the child to
Yeah,
watch,
like
you're just gonna tell the
like
dude who gives
like
you the child, nah, don't.
like actually, hey, don't come around here,
Yeah.
even though you gave me my baby.
Yeah. And he's a Jedi. You kind of aren't.
Right, like
So it's kind
he's
of
I'm literally looking out for the baby and
right.
you.
And he knows the origin. So why
Yep.
would you not want him around?
Right.
Know of something.
Right.
It's like you can't
That's
keep coming over here unless he's worried. If he's around, he draws attention,
and which he does.
of course, because the young kid met up with him. Uh, the one that he shoot away. I think that was episode 1, maybe
Yes.
episode 2. I can't remember.
A young Jedi.
Yeah, the one that got hung in the city. I mean, that can happen, but I still would have not had a. I don't know why he would have had a real problem with it because eventually, at the end of the series or whatever season, he's cool with him coming and seeing him, which we knew was going to happen because Luke knew him in episode 4. He knew him as old Ben. So
Yes.
we knew he would eventually allow him to meet him and be okay with him.
But I bet you he doesn't see him anymore.
You don't think? Because
I
he
mean,
sounds like he
I
will.
think I oh well maybe they can do that. Maybe they can see old Ben. And I feel like Leia has a better chance of seeing Obi Wan again because she calls him Obi Wan. Like they know each other on a different level.
Yeah.
Because like Leia knows he's a Jedi.
Yeah, she's seen him. I mean, if we're going off
Right.
what the
And
show,
matter of fact, that leads right into 4 as well. They know them by different names, or know him by different names. Well,
yeah,
I've heard of Ben, like old Ben that
yeah,
used to live up there. Yeah, I know him. Maybe he's a relation to Obi Wan.
yeah, exactly. He doesn't know anything
He
about
doesn't know him. Yeah,
his
like
life
in that.
or anything. Yeah, but
So I could see maybe them having, I won't say an adventure, but yet he's gonna. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see Obi Wan coming back to see the Organas again,
yes, I could definitely see that. I can see that.
or them spending more time together than because when she left that message, she knows them. But like you said, it's an impressionable child in a life saving moment.
Right. So, um, so let's see.
What do you
We,
think about? Ooh,
yeah.
I was gonna ask you about Obi Wan and Anakin's relationship.
Um, again, their relationship. From Obi-Wan's side, I think he he does feel like he failed him. I mean, in all the efforts that he tried to stop him and tried to explain to him, tried to help him, be there as a mentor. I don't know at what point he lost him. At what point he didn't hold any weight when it came to influence.
Right.
But I felt for him because the scene where he cuts his face, he sees him for the first time as he is outside of when he left him
Hmm.
in that volcano. The look in his eye, great acting from Ewan McGregor because
Dude, they knocked that out of the park.
yeah,
Uh, uh,
I I felt it. I was like, dang. And he said, I'm truly, I'm sorry.
I'm
Like,
sorry. Right.
what can you do? It's like, I can't do anything else. And then for him to get that confirmation that Anakin's gone.
Right.
So now I said my piece, you're out.
Right.
Mm,
Now I don't think you feel sorry for him anymore.
no, especially, with Anakin or, well, Darth Vader saying, I killed him. I,
Right. You didn't kill him. I
I didn't
killed
do
him.
it. I did it.
Right.
That's like taking
I like when I was watching the show, I was like, yeah, he's been dead. Like
this whole
like
time.
Anakin was gone a long time ago. Before y'all were fighting in a volcano, Anakin was already gone.
Before you had the high ground, Anakin
Right.
was already gone. He
Right.
was gone the second he killed Mace Windu.
Right.
Cut his hand off. He was gone because now he's struck. I don't think he had killed no. Did he go? No, was that episode 2? He killed the camp where his mom lived.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
He did.
you could say that maybe would be the start of it because he killed
Hmm.
everyone, kids,
Right.
everybody.
Everybody.
Kind of got to say that's the start. But to actually attack a Jedi, yeah, that was
He's
complete.
gone.
That completed the
Right.
process. Let's put it that way.
Right. Yeah, he definitely was Darth Vader, um, going in there killing them kids.
I thought it
He
was
didn't even he
interesting.
didn't even have to have a mask on.
I thought it was interesting that um, Darth Sidious called him his friend when he was speaking through the hologram at the end.
Oh
And he said,
yeah.
friend, I was just kind of like, y'all friends? Like the word friend between them seems kind of like a weird thing for them to even use. I know
Um,
it's just words that you use, you're talking to someone, but it just seemed kind of
do
interesting that
you
they
think
that
that at this point in their relationship,
10 years.
do you think that it's on the, I don't know, how old was he? 25, now he's 35? Are
Yeah,
we
probably
thinking
somewhere
something
in
like
that
that?
range. Yeah.
Um,
Gotta say Obi-Wan's probably 40 something.
right,
He was probably like 32 in in episode 3, maybe 30, or not 32 specifically, between like
right,
30 and 35.
right. I'm just thinking in terms of like how long they like, how long they've been around each other. Like, do you think he still appeases to that dude, or are they in a relationship now where, like, because he did call him my master?
Correct. And that's why I say it's weird that the master would call
Yeah,
him his friend. That's not a Jedi situation. Like
I
he
wonder
knows
if that. I wonder if that was him trying to. Hey,
calm.
I'm like Obi Wan. Hey, do you need me to be your friend?
Yeah, he was trying to be a
Like,
counselor.
like,
No,
like. Yeah, I mean, I know how to be. Though, Yoda said it. Give it into your feelings. It is the way of the path to the dark side. So he was
well,
trying to be. He was trying to be. I maybe that was him trying to be emotional.
he knows the outcome. Like Darth Sidious knows because he killed his master.
Right.
So he knows the outcome. That's why I
Right.
said I thought it was kind of like a ironic thing for him to say that to him when he knows this dude's gonna kill me at some point because that's just the way of the dark side. Like the Sidious always has his apprentice
Right.
kill him. Now, this wasn't the normal way because generally it was supposed to be the apprentice wants the power, and in that
Right.
situation, it wasn't. It was saving his son. So
Right.
killing him in six wasn't the same way that he had said Palpatine had said himself he had killed
Right.
his sister. So, but yeah, no, I just thought that was interesting because I was like, friend, like, come on,
Right. That
man.
is kind of weird.
And this dude, super emotional. You really gonna believe him when he says, like, your emotions are high? And he's like, he
Right.
doesn't mean anything to me. Dude, you've been looking for 10 years. He means something. he
Like
means,
big time. Right. You
you
are
are
stuck.
not looking for somebody that you don't care about.
Right.
You have not moved on. I'm sorry, my friend. So I don't know.
That I mean, that's
Funny.
funny because uh didn't the Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor, say the same thing? Hey, dude, we could put an end to this rebellion right here. Go get them. And he said, I will not get off Kenobi. Follow Kenobi. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
okay. Like you
he
just
was like
sacrificed. Like they could have ended the rebellion
the
right
whole
there.
team. Hey, and it's so funny because they let us know they were making sure that we knew O'Shea Jackson was letting us know this is it. This is all we got right here. We
Right.
ain't got nothing else. If we go down, it's it. And one decision, he could have knocked the whole thing out,
Right.
and we would have
Right.
never had Star Wars
Any
uh
of them.
series. It would have been over.
Like any of them. Right.
None of
That's so
um
funny.
yeah, that was just kind of interesting that Darth Vader um at the end of the day was very, very emotional.
Mm.
And I don't know the details of the dark side and
Yeah, maybe
emotion Jedi and all that. But
every time that when we've been talking about this for the past few minutes,
mhm.
I think of the robot chicken skit where that dude is on the phone. The Emperor is on the phone with Darth Vader,
Yeah.
and he has someone else in the office with him, and he keeps putting them on hold and say, "Oh, now he's whining about this." If you ever get a chance, look that up.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Like this dude is making a burger run, and he's like, "Yeah, I want fries." Uh, hold on. You want something? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Are
I
you
feel like
crying? Are you crying? Dude, it's hilarious.
I need to check that again, man.
It's
They've done
pretty
a lot of
funny.
Star Wars stuff on
But
Robot.
but it is kind of funny that you made that thought that he's trying to be his friend,
Yeah.
and the first thing I'm thinking about is this dude talking to emotional Darth Vader. I was like, man, are they trying to make a joke in the show?
A meta joke.
Right, super meta.
Yeah. Um we talked about what trying to think where else I was wanting to go with it because we talked about the Inquisitors.
Correct.
Do you think Third Sister is going to be anything if they do another season? Is
Uh-huh.
that story done? Have they completed that?
Well, would you like to see it? Let me ask you that as a viewer.
I think they completed her story. I
Okay,
don't really know what
because
else.
because I will tell you this. Um, I feel like in the beginning of this show, her being the strong, like not I'm not even thinking about her as a female, but that's strong as well. But
Right.
her just being the strong villain as a whole in the beginning, like she to me, even over the Grand Inquisitor, she was the one that was taking charge early.
Right.
Now we find out it's because she had a grudge, but we still saw that early, and for her to go from that place all the way to where we saw her at the end on her
Mhm.
knees in the sand,
Right.
having Obi-Wan pull her up, that showed me a whole turnaround. That was a entire change of life. So maybe we will see her, but I don't think it's going to be
I
like,
wouldn't mind her.
hey, I want to be a Jedi now, and I'll come with you on your
I wouldn't mind
journey.
her popping
No,
in. If she was a
yeah,
reoccurring character that just popped up whenever, like throughout the season to help, or
uh,
if it's somebody he
if
called on.
he is in a fight somewhere
Right.
and he's outnumbered, and she happens to be on the same planet,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you've seen this character. You've seen his character. We know that she can hold her own. Um, and we know that they left on good terms. And then you can
Right.
update people where she is. But uh, the actual her being in every episode again, I don't think we need that.
Yeah. I don't. I don't know if we really need that. I think we're good. Not that she did a bad job. It's just I think her story and what it was flushed out. It was told. We saw the beginning, middle, and end. Cool. We have a developed
Right,
character now, and you can use her
right,
whenever you need to, somewhere down the line.
right.
If you do another prequel, Rogue Two, whatever, uh, use her
Right.
again whenever you want to, or whatever. But we already talked about the fight scenes. But I want to talk about the Vader. I mentioned it. The face split, the way
It
he
was
looked,
awesome.
voice. I knew that was happening. I knew that was going to happen. The second he started hitting him, I was like,
Right,
we're going to get the lightsaber on the face and it's going to
right.
split. We're going to see it. But the minute
I
he
like.
changed voice, that was
I know
so
what you're gonna say. I
dope.
loved it,
That
Doug.
was dope to use have Hayden speak his voice mixed with
Vader or with James Earls, but I hate that it's not him no more. But yeah,
yeah, yeah. That was that was pretty awesome, and that like tied it together because some part of it you could feel like you never really heard what he sounded like in the original,
right,
out of when they took the helmet off. But even then, it was like old and crotchety. But
right.
now you can really tie why he would sound without them explaining it. His
hmm
voice speaking through that voice box, it brings it all
It's
together.
it's almost like how he hears himself talking.
Right. And then they had it choppy, like it was like even the
Yeah,
voice box wasn't quite working.
right.
Had
So it
no,
showed Hayden Christensen's voice, then it showed choppy voice box, then it showed Vader, or
yeah,
it played Vader, and then it went back to choppy.
yeah.
Yeah, they did that very well. I liked
Whoever
that a
came up
lot.
with that was like that was a nice touch, man. I
Oh
like that.
yeah, oh yeah. What
Uh,
did you think about Qui Gon at the end?
oh, I forgot. Yeah, Qui Gon.
That was another reason why I thought it was going to. They're going to do in the next season with
Qui
him
Gon
still
and Obi Wan.
right, and he'll be teaching him stuff as they go to another journey.
Yeah.
So it's that age old thing. We've been looking for stories outside of the Skywalkers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now this whole series can start with something we know, and this next season, hopefully they're doing one, is about Obi Wan's adventures or Obi Wan's dealings as a lone Jedi,
Right.
and Qui Gon might be a lot in it. So I don't know.
I think that'd be nice. That'd be cool if they could do that. And we don't need to have it immediately. I mean, outside
Right,
of actors getting old and hopefully not
right,
that happening, but yeah, man, I think that'd be pretty cool. Pretty good storytelling on their side to be able to tell that story and whatever they want to come up with, or if there's canon stuff in the comics
right.
or books or something that was talking about something that happened. That'd be cool. But I did.
Okay,
I was. It was finally. It was about time.
it was. I got a bone to pick. One.
Yeah.
Uh, so please, if it's as easy as and simple as the cryo chambers, how are
Mhm.
folks getting run through and still alive?
In what
Now,
fashion? Oh, okay.
third sister got ran
First,
through, and the Grand
and-
Inquisitor got ran through.
I can't tell you. No.
Is that whatever Boba Fett lays in at night?
Well,
Is
I
that
mean,
what's healing them, or
we've never
like
seen that before, right? Boba Fett's the
like
first time we've seen that
right?
caption, right?
Correct.
They introduced it for this show because they could just
Like
say,
for real, that dude, he came up, she came up from behind him and ran it through him, didn't she? Or she was talking to him and ran it through him.
ran it through him. Yeah, his stomach. But they both got stabbed the same way.
Right. And then Vader ran her through.
Yeah. Now, my my first deal is when Obi Wan met Darth Vader. Um, that was episode 4.
Ah, the tank. They did have a tank
Well, when
because Tala put him in the tank.
when he's oh, that's right.
I forgot about that. They
Yeah,
did show a
that's
tank
right. They did show a tank.
when Vader and him saw each other for the first time.
Hmm.
Is when he pulled him against the glass in the fire.
Right. But I'm thinking just the lightsabers in general. Did Obi-Wan disappear because his life force had completed something and the Jedi's were calling him home? Or did the lightsaber just incinerate him? Because I didn't when he went through, it was just a cloak that just fell. There was no body, he didn't get cut in half. It was
Oh,
nothing. Was that explained at some point? And if anybody's listening and knows,
so yeah, please let us know. Um, so I always thought now the saber was gone. I might have to watch this again now.
he put the saber. He lowered the.
No, what?
He was in a
So
defensive position.
where did someone take the saber afterwards, or was it gone?
I thought he grabbed it, Vader,
Right.
when it was on the ground.
Okay.
But I
It
was
was
just
on
saying,
the ground.
in general,
I
he
that
didn't get
he
cut in
he
half.
did he
He just
that no, he definitely was gone.
so I
I
don't.
think he I think he just gave to his life force or whatever.
Okay, then maybe that's what it is. Maybe he did that. I just always thought,
As a matter of fact, how did Luke die?
we know? Because he was a
He just
ghost.
gave to his life force.
Yeah, he did go into the. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's probably what he did in the cloak.
He pulled a Odin's son. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
He just let himself go, and maybe that's.
Which is weird, but I guess you got to be a powerful Jedi to do it. But is that
Do you?
suicide? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that makes you a weak Jedi.
Why
Is
not
it
all Jedi?
suicide?
Yoda just let himself go. Like anybody just let himself go. Like, oh, if we're not in power anymore after Order
I mean,
66, just give your life force. Just go.
I mean, shit. Now that I'm thinking about it, well, Yoda didn't disintegrate. He just fell asleep and didn't wake up.
Yeah. Wild questions.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never thought about how all the Jedi's died.
We want to know. We know how some of them are, just not all of them. But overall, for the series, man,
I give it an A for sure.
I definitely give it an A. I didn't have high expectations. I kind of was just wanting to watch
Me
something,
neither.
and
Right.
they got me hooked. Episode 3, when they brought in Darth,
Yep.
I wasn't even thinking. I really didn't think they were going to bring Vader. I didn't read. I didn't watch
I,
nothing. I didn't watch no trailers.
me neither.
I went into
I,
it unknowing.
I had no idea he was going to be on the show.
So when they brought him in, not only did they bring him in, but they gave him
He
like
kills.
kills.
Right.
real energy.
Every scene he was in, he was really good.
And he didn't care. He was just killing people. So it was like, okay, this is the Vader that I think they set us up in the first four, but we just didn't know his, you know, everything preceded him. And then now we see it and we're like,
We saw a little bit of it in Rogue One.
right,
And
right.
this is him just like, yeah, he truly doesn't care.
Oh, yeah. Rogue One was when he was in the hallway on
His
the ship.
hallway scene.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He
Because
was going in.
everybody was doing hallway scenes.
Yeah. He was going in. I need to rewatch that. I might
Yeah,
do.
Rogue One is official, man.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's so funny. Didn't people not like it at first?
yeah, I think
Like
it came out
small.
the box pretty slow, right?
Yeah, I liked
I
it.
really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I really liked it too.
The
You know,
next Star Wars conversation that we have, I want to bring a topic up and then we can hang on to it till the next time. Um,
I'll say we can do another one. I'm gonna see if we can get some more people that want to chat. This is our
nice,
intro, and we'll do another one. I'll throw it out in the chat room and see if people want to join in, and we can do another one overall for the Star Wars series as well as Obi Wan, everything up to this point.
right? I
And then
mean,
we'll go from there.
I don't even know if we've really talked about the other two.
No, we haven't. We definitely haven't talked about the book of Fett or Mandalorian.
Mando, yeah,
Yeah, so we can actually get a discussion going and see what everybody else what their thoughts are and get everybody in the chat and talk about it. So
sounds
we'll be
good to
doing that here
me.
soon. Cool, man. Well, we're about done on this one. We made it 50 minutes or something, you know.
Yeah,
Good
a little
listen.
something.
Yeah, so we'll be trying to do this. I think our next series we're going to try and do is Ms. Mervu. I've
Good, good.
watched episode 1 today. I still have
That's
to
all.
two.
That's the only one I've watched as well.
All right, cool. So then we can jump off on that one. Once we do this again, we'll schedule it and get it up, and
Nice,
we'll probably try to follow that series and get some episodes in and do that for the listening audience. Yay.
nice.
All right. Well, this is cousin one signing off. Biela. I am out. Good night. Thank you for listening.
Cousin three, Magneto. Appreciate it as always.
All right, everybody. This is the ComiCousins podcast. We will see you all again. Peace.
Peace.